Walk into any hardware store today, and you'll find aisle after aisle of tools. Shiny handles, bold packaging, prices that seem almost too good to pass up. But flip most of them over and check the label. Made in China, made in Taiwan, made somewhere that isn't here. That's not an accident. Over the past few decades, American tool manufacturing has been quietly hollowed out, factory by factory, job by job, until only a stubborn handful of companies remain standing. These are the ones that refused to leave. They kept their forges burning, their workers employed, and their standards high when every economic pressure was pushing them to do the opposite. The result is a collection of tools that don't just perform better. They represent something bigger. The idea that American craftsmanship is still alive, still relevant, and still worth choosing. Here are 10 Made in America tools that prove it every single day. 1. Estwing Hammers, Rockford, Illinois. Estwing doesn't assemble their hammers from multiple parts. They forge each one from a single solid bar of American steel, heated until white-hot and shaped into a seamless, jointless tool. No welds, no weak points, no place for failure to hide. The result is a hammer that channels every ounce of your swing directly into the work, delivering maximum impact without vibration eating up your wrist by lunchtime. Construction workers, carpenters, and tradespeople across the country have used the same Estwing for decades. Once you swing one, you understand why they never switch. 2. Klein Tools, Mansfield, Illinois. 5 generations of the Klein family have run this company, and that continuity shows in every product they make. Klein tools are the gold standard for electricians, linemen, and utility workers across the United States. 8 out of 10 utility professionals reach for Klein pliers, cutters, and insulated screwdrivers when they're working on the infrastructure that keeps the country running. More than 300 American workers show up every shift to manufacture tools that quite literally keep the lights on. When the stakes involve live wires and public safety, reliability isn't optional. Klein delivers it. 3. Channellock Pliers, Meadville, Pennsylvania. Since 1886, Channellock has been making the tongue and groove plier that every other brand wishes they invented. Their patented design grips harder, adjusts faster, and holds longer than the imitations filling store shelves. Nearly 350 workers in a small Pennsylvania town clock in every day to forge these tools from American steel, and their paychecks flow directly into local restaurants, schools, and businesses. Channellock isn't just a tool company, it's the economic backbone of an entire community. Buying a pair means something beyond your toolbox. 4. Leatherman Multi-Tools, Portland, Oregon. Tim Leatherman had a practical frustration and turned it into one of the most trusted tools ever made. His folding multi-tool, first produced in 1983, gave workers, adventurers, and everyday problem solvers an entire toolkit that fit in a shirt pocket. 40 years later, every single Leatherman is still assembled by hand in Portland, Oregon, by 210 workers who take the company's 25-year warranty personally. Field technicians, military personnel, search and rescue teams, and outdoor professionals around the world carry Leatherman, because when something breaks in a remote location or a critical situation, they need a tool that won't fail them. This one won't. 5. Vaughan Hammers, Hebron, Illinois. 4 generations of the Vaughan family have stood at the same anvil, passing down a standard of quality that refuses to compromise. Since 1883, Vaughan has been hand-forging hammers built to last 3 times longer than ordinary imports. The difference isn't just in the steel, it's in the people who shape it. Workers who have spent entire careers on this floor, who know every machine by sound, and who understand that a hammer isn't just a product, It's a promise to the person swinging it. Vaughan hammers are built to be handed down, not thrown out. 6. Warwood Tool, Wheeling, West Virginia. Warwood has been forging tools since 1854, making it one of the oldest continuously operating tool manufacturers in the entire country. They survived the Civil War, 2 World Wars, the Great Depression, and every economic crisis in between by doing one thing consistently: making tools the right way. Red-hot billets, skilled hands, no shortcuts. In 2024, they finally began selling directly to tradespeople online, bringing 170 years of craftsmanship directly to a new generation of buyers who know quality when they hold it. 7. Bondus Hex Keys, Monticello, Minnesota. Most people don't think much about hex keys until a bolt strips and the job stops cold. Bondus solved that problem with their patented ball-end driver, which lets you turn fasteners at angles up to 25 degrees off-center. Their tools are made from a proprietary steel alloy stronger than standard chrome vanadium, which means they grip better and last longer under real-world conditions. Mechanics who've switched to Bondus rarely go back. The set they bought years ago still looks and performs like new. 8. Dead-On Tools, United States. Built specifically for heavy demolition and framing work, Dead-On Tools are designed to take the kind of punishment that would destroy lesser products. Favored by contractors working fast, hard, and in brutal conditions, these tools are made to keep up with the pace of a real American job site. The price is fair. The performance is anything but average. 9. Nupla, Sun Valley, California. Since 1941, Nupla has been manufacturing striking tools with fiberglass and composite handles that absorb shock better than wood and outlast steel under repeated heavy use. Industrial workers, wildland firefighters, and utility crews rely on Nupla sledgehammers, axes, and specialty tools when the job demands something that simply will not break. Decades of California manufacturing and a workforce committed to getting it right every time. 10. Council Tool, Lake Waccamaw, North Carolina. Founded in 1886, Council Tool is one of the last remaining American makers of axes, hatchets, and forestry tools. Their products are standard issue for the U.S. Forest Service and wildland firefighting crews who operate in environments where a tool failure isn't just a delay, it's a danger. Council Tool has survived nearly 140 years by maintaining standards that offshore manufacturers simply won't match, because their customers cannot afford a tool that fails when lives are on the line. The real cost of choosing cheap. Here's the truth that the big box store aisle won't tell you. The cheap imported tool isn't actually cheaper. It just moves the cost around. You pay less upfront and more over time, in replacements, in frustration, in jobs that don't get done right. The American-made tool costs more on day one and less over the next 10 years. But there's a second cost that's even harder to calculate. Every time a consumer reaches past the American-made option for the cheaper import, another factory runs a little colder. Another skilled worker gets a layoff notice. Another generation grows up without a trade to inherit. The 7 remaining forge fires in West Virginia and Illinois and Pennsylvania stay lit only as long as people choose to keep them burning. These 10 companies have done their part. They kept the forges hot, the workers trained, and the standards high when no one would have blamed them for walking away. Now, the choice belongs to the buyer. Buy American-made tools, not out of sentiment, not out of politics, but because they last longer, perform better, and keep something worth preserving alive for the next generation of tradespeople who will need them. The sparks are still flying. The question is whether we'll let them go out.